Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Nasdaq and SPX price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. We're going to start with Nasdaq here, where we are looking at, of course, the price action hitting our targets, the perfect target for an A, B, and a C here. The wave B, of course, as an expanding flat has been hit, and of course, I already warned you yesterday in the video also with it, so be careful. From this area, we might see, of course, somehow some drops downward. Now, after, of course, finishing this testing here, and we saw a little bit higher, we have, of course, currently something else after hitting, of course, our next testing area here. This potential scenario as a main wave 2 can still be possible, but we, of course, have some changes right now, and we see, of course, an expanding flat potentially rather than an ABC. So expanding a flat might be, of course, a little bit deeper here with the fib levels. So I'm gonna take it again from there as an expanding flat. You might have here a wave C, of course. Here we go. So if that is a potential next target for the drop downward here, which is in confluence with those targets here, and this blue box for expanding flat. So we gotta be careful from this because, of course, I don't see yet a clear path for bullish here, unless, of course, the things overshoot it. Once we overshoot it, meaning if we come back to this area, this is your right now confirmation for higher. Now we took, of course, the previous confirmation for higher, and we saw higher prices. The confirmation for lower also was taken, but of course, guys, yesterday the market was, of course, based on the news here. The political tension that it happened in the Middle East and so on, threat of a huge war again, and of course the market has reacted very badly to it, but at the end it was a news. But probably today is gonna take more effect of it, and we might see drop down again. So if this is taken, therefore I'm still potentially even looking for lower, and that because, of course, we took now the perfect fib level and we retrace downward. So we gotta be careful with it. Now internally, can we call this an impulse? Well, not really, but still can be possible. Now your wave 3 looks the shortest, unfortunately, and that's why, of course, I'm raising a warning here that this might not be an impulse. And definitely, of course, yeah, so yeah, it's the shortest here, wave 3. So it is not an impulse here, it is a 3 waves towards the upside. Yep, so that's it for Nasdaq. Let's see the US 500 or SPX 500 here. On the SPX 500 as well, we see almost the same thing. Of course, potentially you took the 1.05. Actually, here, let's check. And here we go. 1.05 almost, but yeah, even not really touched, but you took the high, but it still look, of course, weak here. We don't have any kind of like impulsive wave. We see a very, very aggressive retracement. Also internally, I see an A, B, and a C here, meaning dropping down. Be careful. And that might turn, of course, in a bigger WXNY here for wave B and dropping down for wave C, of course, in an expanding flat. The next target in confluence might be the following target as a wave C expanding flat between these blue box area. Of course, as much higher precision, we might see, of course, yeah, the $6,400 for the US 500. And there is no testing area anymore here because I don't have 5 waves up. Because if I had 5 waves up, I would say, okay, I'm going to experiment a wave 2 here, but yeah, there is no need for it. Currently, the price is a little bit much more clearer if this was going to end up here. So we might, of course, drop down to this area, and I think this might end up, of course, by finishing here kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can call probably this is a zigzag, but I don't like it as a zigzag. You need, of course, 5 waves, unless, of course, we see a 5 waves ending diagonal here. So we gotta be careful. This is your bullish, by the way, and I mean a little bit higher here. This scenario might still be unfold, but anyway, to get it, of course, you need lower first and then moving for higher. Does this apply for Nasdaq? I think so, yes. Yes, it's the same, can be applied for Nasdaq, but don't forget, it changed nothing. And that because, of course, you finish up in three ways. Even with diagonal here, meaning A, B, and a C. So we gotta be careful with it, of course, because it might drop down in any case, even if you see an ending diagonal here. Yep, so that was it for the Nasdaq and the SPX 500. Trade safe. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye bye.